Have you ever told yourself you'll start tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next month, and somehow an entire year passes and you're still standing in the same place? Have you ever had big dreams in your head, clear visions of who you could become, but when it's time to act, something inside you freezes? Have you ever felt like you're capable of so much more, yet you watch yourself doing nothing, scrolling through your phone, wasting hours, avoiding the very things you know could change your life? If this sounds like you, then stop everything and listen carefully, because this story is not about laziness, it's about fear, and it might be the most important story you'll ever hear. There was a young man named Marcus who lived in a small apartment in Columbus, Ohio. He was 26 years old, worked a job he didn't care about, and spent most of his evenings alone, staring at the ceiling, thinking about all the things he wanted to do, but never did. Marcus wasn't stupid. He wasn't without talent. In fact, everyone who knew him said he had potential. But potential doesn't pay bills, and potential doesn't build a life. And Marcus knew this, yet he couldn't move. Every time he thought about starting his own business, applying for a better job, or even going to the gym, a heavy weight pressed down on his chest. He would tell himself he was tired. He would say he'd do it later. He called it laziness. But deep down, in the quiet moments he tried to avoid, Marcus knew the truth. He wasn't lazy. He was terrified. Terrified of failing. Terrified of being judged. Terrified of trying his hardest and discovering it wasn't good enough. So he did nothing, because doing nothing felt safer than facing the possibility of defeat. Months passed, then years. Marcus watched his old college friends buy houses, get promotions, start families. He watched people younger than him achieve things he only dreamed about. And with every passing success he witnessed, the voice in his head grew louder. "It's too late for you now. You waited too long. You're behind. Just stay where you are." And Marcus listened. He stayed. One cold November evening, Marcus sat alone on a bench outside a coffee shop, staring at the ground, lost in his usual spiral of regret and self-pity. An old man sat beside him, a stranger with gray hair and calm eyes, holding a cup of coffee. They sat in silence for a few minutes before the old man spoke without looking at him. "You know what the difference is between a man who builds something and a man who doesn't? It's not talent, it's not luck. It's that one of them decided his fear of staying the same was greater than his fear of moving forward." Marcus looked at him, confused, almost defensive. The old man continued, "Fear doesn't go away, son. You don't wait until you're not scared. You move while you're shaking. That's the only way." Then the old man stood up, nodded gently, and walked away, leaving Marcus alone with words that hit him like cold water. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He replayed his entire life in his mind. Every opportunity he avoided, every excuse he made, every time he chose comfort over growth. And finally, painfully, he admitted the truth to himself. He wasn't protecting himself from failure. He was guaranteeing it. By doing nothing, he had already failed. The next morning, Marcus didn't suddenly transform into a new person. There was no dramatic montage, no overnight success. He simply did one small thing. He opened his laptop and sent one email to a company he'd been afraid to contact for 2 years. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. But he pressed send. And that tiny act broke something inside him. Over the following weeks, Marcus kept taking small, uncomfortable steps. He applied for jobs that intimidated him. He started waking up earlier. He failed many times. He got rejected. He felt embarrassed. But for the first time in his life, he was moving. And he realized something powerful. The fear never disappeared. He just stopped letting it make his decisions. Now let me ask you something. How much of your life have you lost to fear disguised as laziness? How many dreams have you buried because you told yourself you weren't ready when really you were just scared? This story isn't about Marcus. This story is about you. And the truth is, you're not lazy, you're afraid. And that fear will keep you stuck for another year, another decade, another lifetime if you let it. But you don't have to. You can feel afraid and still move. You can shake and still take the step. You can doubt yourself and still try. Because the man who moves while afraid will always go further than the man who waits until he's ready. And you, whoever you are, wherever you are, you've already waited long enough.